It's a Friday, I think. Today is a shot day, and I weighed myself this morning. I weighed in at 252.8, I think, and last time it was 253.4, I believe it was. So a little bit less than last time. I did decide to kick up my dose today. I am now going to be doing 6 milligrams every 4 days instead of 5 milligrams every 4 days. I looked at the half-life plotter, and I'll put up here what my constant milligrams in the body will be now. I was playing around with it earlier today, and if you can get up, well, when you get up, if you have to get up, to the 15 milligram cap for Tirzepatide, and you do it every 7 days, then you have, what was it, like 21 milligrams on shot days, because you know it builds up in your system. So on shot days, if you get to the high heights, it's 21 milligrams on shot days. And right before you take the shot, you're at like 11 milligrams. That's quite the dip, you know? So doing 6 milligrams every 4 days, it is, let's see, it looks like it's 9.8 milligrams right before the shot. And then when I take the shot, I'm basically at 13.3 milligrams. So that's doing 6 every 4 days. So I'm going to try that maybe for a couple weeks, and we'll just keep playing with it until I start losing some weight here, you know? I have had sulfur burps, I think, twice now. And when I was doing the 7.5 every 5 days, I was so bloaty. I had sulfur burps like all the time. So I think doing less more frequently is better for me. Like I don't feel quite as bloated and, you know, gassy in general, that kind of thing. Heart palpitations have been pretty good recently. Well, before I get into that, I'll show you the shot. I took it just a couple minutes ago, but I did it downstairs, so I'll go ahead and show that to you. Okay, so I originally today was gonna try it using the cap, you know, that has like the spring on it. So like you don't see the shot. But the 5 millimeter pen tips that I have for it is just, it's too small. I could barely feel it at all when I was trying to use it. So that video that I just showed you, I finally just took the pen cap off, or the injector cap off, so you could actually see the needle. Because I was feeling like a tiny little prick from it, but I didn't think it was going to be able to get injected into the depth that it should be. So maybe in the future, if I get longer needles, like 8, I think 8 millimeters would probably be okay. And I would probably prefer it because the way that I'm doing it right now without the protective springy part to it, it's putting a lot of pressure right where the needle goes in. There's, that little bit of plasticiness around the needle. I'm having to put a lot of pressure right there. And I have a feeling if it's got a wider base to it, like where the spring part is on that cap, that I was hoping I maybe had a pen up here, but I don't think. I have the third one somewhere. I don't know where it is. That like spreading out the pressure of where the injection is going to go, I think will be just a little bit more comfortable. Even though the needle is longer, it's still not going to be as deep because that spring on the pen, the insulin pen, takes up 1 or 2 millimeters of needle depth. But that's probably going to be a while because I just bought these 5 millimeter needles, and I don't need to keep buying syringes and needle tips if I don't need to spend the money on them. So that's going to be a, 3 months from now problem kind of a thing. Or maybe less if I'm doing it every 4 days. I don't know. I do know that I need to get some more of those glass cartridges though, because I'm going through those every couple of weeks or so, and so I need to make a purchase. Especially, and I'm doing it with my dad. Like I'm making my dad's for him. So yeah. So what I was saying earlier was how I was splitting my doses basically effectively by doing smaller doses but more frequently. So 6 milligrams now every 4 days, and we'll see if the weight starts. I went to a concert the other day, Heart Palpitations, that's where we were. So I went to go see the AJR concert. They put on such a good show, guys. If you like AJR, I would say that you would probably really enjoy their concerts. They're super fun. The sets are interactive. There's a lot of back and forth with the audience. Their music itself, I just think is fun. So I would recommend seeing AJR if you have the ability to, and if you like their music. No point if you don't. My dad watched some videos I had up on my Facebook, and he's like, glad you had fun. So, but I did have a couple palpitations while I was there, which they weren't huge. They were just, minorly annoying. And I was trying like different positions, like, sometimes having my proper posture helps. I used to have such good posture, guys. And over the years being on the computer, you just, you kind of get rounded. So sitting up, which I don't know. I also keep my head tilted back along. Do you guys do this too? And I have to like constantly remind myself to be face forward, especially when I'm driving in the car. I'll just notice that I end up going back, and then my neck gets all tense, and then I have to go forward. So I'm not sure how much of this is posture related as well as other types of things related. Yesterday did pretty well. I think I only had 1 or 2 palpitations. Haven't had any so far today, which I'm super happy about. I am taking, 3 of the magnesium glycinates. This is one of them. So they're not overly big pills. They're just regular pills, right? So I'm taking 3 in the morning and 3 at night at 720 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. It sounds like a lot, but because the actual magnesium elemental part is pretty minimal, it's probably only it's less than 100 milligrams. I think I worked it out too. So I'm not actually taking all that much. And every other night I've been taking a potassium gluconate pill, and I don't know if that's been helping. I ate a very salty turkey dinner yesterday. We brined this turkey for 3 days. So good. If you guys don't brine your poultry, you are missing out. It's so easy to do, and it adds so much flavor to your birds. But anyway, so we had the turkey, and then I used the drippings to make like a gravy, as one does. And since it had brined, it had quite a bit of salt in the gravy. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is just going to be so much salt. But a part of me kind of thinks that even though I retain water with salt, maybe, I don't know how this would be possible, maybe I'm not getting enough sodium, electrolyte style. And since I had so much salt yesterday, what I feel was a lot of salt, maybe it wasn't, but I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe that is what has helped me not have any palpitations so far today. I don't know. I always think that excess salt, is not great for you. Most people retain water with it, but I mean, if it's going to help me not have palpitations, I guess I'll take a little bit of water retention, all things considered. So who knows? I'm just grateful I haven't had any today. Did I tell you guys I watched Twister? I can't remember if I told you about that. I did watch the original Twister in preparation for watching Twisters, but I think I mentioned this last time, how the effects are like super cheesy, but for the time, 1996, it was pretty good. So my husband was just telling me yesterday that the new Twisters movie actually has nothing to do with the original. Like there's not going to be any callbacks to it. None of the original characters are going to be in it. It's like its own complete standalone, but for the 2020s. So I'm not sad that I watched it though. It had been probably a good decade at least, if not longer than that, since I had watched it before. So that's cool. And we've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. Still super fun. Oh, so I told you guys I was starting a job at the end of the month. I was going to start training for it with Omni Interactions. Well, so I had to buy these cables for my monitors because they send you this, it's called a Zero client. It's like basically a virtual desktop that you have to plug into. Well, you have to make sure that you have micro HDMI plugins, which neither of my monitors that I have that. So I had to purchase two separate monitors because this is an old school one, which has the DVI, you plug it in, you got to like twist the little side things. So I went back and forth, like, do I really want to buy extra cords? And I'm like, yeah, it's not super much. So I bought it. They sent me the machine. I was going to start on the 22nd. I had to do a drug test for it. Already had that all out of the way, and I'm going to pass that. No problem, right? So I just got this email after I'd gotten all these emails saying, we're excited to have you. Here's, your login and this, that, and the other. And they're like, oh, well, actually, this client decided that they don't actually need as many new workers as they thought that they did. So if you're receiving this email, you're one of the ones that got cut, but we have you pre-approved for our next class, which should be in September. So I just kind of had to laugh because I was kind of on the fence about wanting this particular position anyway. So I guess they made the call for me, but I had already paid for these new cables now. They've already sent me the machine, which I haven't received yet. So I'm like, are you guys going to recall that on your end? Do I return to sender? And they're like, oh, we'll recall it on our side. If you happen to get it, go ahead and return to sender. So now I'm kind of just like, well, okay. So I checked their website because when I signed up for this particular client, there was a good 2 to 3 other clients that I could have applied for. Those are no longer available because they've already filled those classes. So guess I'll just be keeping an eye out for it and just, nose to the grind and try to figure something else out. Quite honestly, I'm okay with not working. That's a little secret between me and you. It would be better for our family if I had a steady source of income coming in, but it's kind of nice. And, my husband comes in to talk to me throughout the day, just to kind of relax and see what I'm doing. Sometimes we watch a show in the middle of the day. I think it's very nice for him, for me not to work, because I can be available to him to chit chat, whenever. Or if I have to take the kids to appointments, like I'm available for that, which this job would have been, great for. So yeah, if you guys know of any way to bring money in, I've thought about doing like the adult, chat type stuff. But it sounds like, for one, the dudes you're talking to think that you're somebody else, and, people are constantly swapping out, but they still think that they're talking to the same person. And also, you're making like 5 cents a text or 5 cents a chat. You would really have to be working it hard to make any kind of a minimum wage doing that. On the other hand, you're able to do it from your own home. So, like, I'm not overly picky about the things that I can do work from home. But that one just, I don't really have, I have morals, right? But I don't really have morals about that type of work. Like, I think that type of work is fine. I just think I should pay more. So we really got sidetracked here from being a shot video. So took my shot, 6 milligrams every 4 days, 252.8 pounds today, no heart palpitations today. And I will see you guys in 4 days, and we'll talk about stuff later. Bye.